Okay, so I meant to make this earlier, but I accidentally had the wrong thing on it. So I'm re-recording this. Also, I'm sick, so if that explains anything about my voice hurts. Anyway, so this is just a quick tutorial on how to modify things in your sheets. What things you shouldn't modify, what things you can modify, how you modify them, etc., etc. Let's just get this over with. So, level, if you level up, you can just increase your level like this. It won't affect everything, it won't affect your enemies or anything. However, it will affect your base stats and your damage dice. So don't mess with this, don't mess with these, or these. Don't mess with these either, but I'll get to that. So nature, I added this so that you don't need to reference the nature chart anytime you want to choose a nature. Ta-da! Neat. Then how to modify this. If you need a new IQ skill, you can do this, and I'll usually just help you with this, so don't worry about it, just ask me, but you can do that, and merge these cells. You might need to merge these cells over here. This is the merge cells button. And then since that adds an extra move slot, you just want to work that out. And ta-da! You can put whatever you want in this place. In this case, let's say Steely over here wants Break Tough. You just copy paste that in. And ta-da! You now have Break Tough. Next, over here, all of these will modify the values down here, which will also modify your stats over here. So when you put it here or here, it'll do this. So if you ever get a new thing that increases your stats, you can just put them here, and then, you know, let's say Assault Best increases your special defense by twice your level. Ta-da! There are other ways to, automate these things so that they increase when you level up. If you want that, I can help you out with that. But usually it's not too difficult to just go in, change something or another. If Steely leveled up, then maybe they could put a 4 in here, 4 in here, and ta-da! These would change. Down here are technical things for the statistics. This is the added values, which is just all of this added up. Over here is the base stats, the adjusted base stats, different from the real base stats. So real base stats are your Pokemon over here, right? These are your real base stats, okay? The ones from the mainline games. Now, to do what I'm doing here, you may or may not be able to do this. I think it's a feature of some computers. If you hold down Control and then highlight it, it'll highlight the cells. And then you can just go over here and then Control Shift V this on. If it looks like this when you do it, then you did it wrong. You need to either go in here, pay special, format, values only. Okay, that's not right, but anyway, Control Shift V will paste in values only, which will prevent the formatting from getting messed up. Now these stats are interpreted by some formulas. You don't need to worry about them over here. And those formulas are basically, they divide these numbers by 25, and then they proceed to multiply that number by your level. So, for example, 100 divided by 25 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. And that's why that's like that. These will increase when you increase your level stat up here. Finally, there are the final stats, which is the added values plus the base stats. And these values are copied over here. These and these you don't want to mess with. These are all formula cells. So if you type in, I don't know, 7 here, increasing your level to 20, it'll stay at 7. So you don't want to do that. Over here, though, you can feel free to modify these as you want. These are the current stat cells. So, yeah, don't worry about that. If you can't tell if a cell is meant to be a formula or not, you can just look up here and it'll look weird. Or it'll look like this. If it's not one, it'll just have the text. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. These are all formula cells, except for this one. This is the only one you'll ever need to modify, and you'll only ever need to modify it if you level up, or if you, basically just if you level up. Nature, defense, okay, so that should be enough for this page. Next is the moves. Now, I added this extra little thing. It may or may not be on your sheet right now. And it just logs how you gained the move. Pretty simple. Then, of course, you have your out of combat effect, which I'm noting that it's there because if you try to copy this in, that'll happen. So, don't try to copy your out of combat effect onto your cheat sheet. Speaking of which, this is your cheat sheet. Say hi to cheat sheet. This isn't really meant, this just represents what you have prepared. Obviously you can only have 6 moves prepared, so, you have the unprepared moves down here, and if you ever need to prepare a new move, you can just drag that down here, drag this down here, up here. To drag them, you just click on this, you click on this, and then you move it. Yeah, just make sure that you only have 6 up here. Now, once you have your prepared moves prepared, you just copy and then paste. Ta-da! Your moves have changed that. Since out of combat moves can be used at any time, when you're looking for out of combat effects, you want to look at all of the out of combat effects, which is why they're not on the cheat sheet, and also just because it'd be weird, it would mess with things. Now, copying moves onto your sheet is pretty easy. All you need to remember is to copy the cells, right? And then paste here. Ta-da! You now have attack order. Or, do not do this. If you click on the actual, cell number, you'll copy the entire row, and you don't know that these are here, maybe? But over here, there's this little tab, and that opens up a couple debugging things that you don't want in your sheet. So if you try to do it this way, what you'll get is that. And you don't want that, whatever that is. So make sure you copy the cells that you want, and not the whole row. Lastly is abilities. let's say you don't have an ability, you have 2 abilities on your sheet, you can delete an ability like that, and then you can, like, if you only, let's say that you have only 2 abilities, your Pokemon only gets 2, so there's one little missing thing there. You can delete that, and drag this up, highlight the bottom part down here, and color it black. Alternatively, if for some reason you add in one, you just insert one row below. Same process as with IQ skills. Do that, and then you go to abilities, copy, paste. If you paste it like this, it's not going to work. So I suggest instead, just go here, click on that, and then paste it in sturdy. Ta-da! Yeah. Just make sure that you're not messing up anything else on the sheet while you're working on it. Temporary boosts. This is broken right now. Sorry about that. But if you put stuff... Oh, before I continue. If you put something into HP, let's say you put 2 in here, you see your final HP is 60. Now it's 64 once I enter 2. It's because every point you put into HP gives you 2 HP. If you have Brick Tough, for example, which increases your HP by 4 times level, you just go here and you actually increase it by twice your level. In this case, you put down 6, and then it'll increase by 12. And that's what Brick Tough would look like. Now, if we go over here, you can put in a temporary boost because there are a few things that will temporarily increase your HP. I'm sure everybody would, the very common ability Power Construct might do that. Just kidding, no, if you got Power Construct, you just put in the real big stuff. But anyway, there are some items that'll temporarily increase your max HP. For the rest of this, you just put in a number and it'll increase it. Let's say we have Swords Dance +2. If you ever need to put down a plus, just put down where this thing is, and that should fix it. Plus. So +2. Attack stages. This is really just for keeping track of things. It has no functionality. So +2 attack stages. I don't know what I just did. +2 attack stages would be 8, and then so 2 attack stages is 3 times level, so just 3 times 3 is 9. If you also ate a Kelpsy Berry to increase your attack by 1 times level until the end of your long rest, you just 9 plus 3 equals 12. Ta-da! Pretty simple. Same goes with the rest of these stats. There's no way, there are technically ways to increase your max power points. Since those are relatively rare, I suggest just going to adding PP and then doing that. It's not the best thing, but that's what we've got. I do intend on adding a thingy for latent EVs. It would just be you writing down how many latent EVs you have. I'm not going to get into that right now. Yeah, oh, of course, items. Okay, so currently the formatting of my purchase table is kind of varies. So what I suggest doing is, let's say we want to copy a tiny reviver seed. You just go to Steely over here, Control-Shift, V, and you can copy them. You can also values. Okay, that did not work. I think values only works a little weirdly. I'm not gonna get into that. But you can just Control-Shift V to values only without any weird shenanigans. Um, so yeah, also up here is your held item. So if you put something there, that means it's your held item. If you want to change your shards, you just change your shards. That's it. So size, Aaron is technically a tiny Pokemon, but it's treated as small because of its heavy metal ability. And your size increases the number of bag slots that you have. So right now, it has 8. If you wanted to remove some, you could shade it black like this, and then white, do that, ta-da! If instead it increased to medium size, you just change this to medium, and then you go down here, reset, here, black, do that, and now it's increased by 2. My voice is dying. Lastly is these. These are all formulas, but I don't currently have a way to increase them easier, so for now I just suggest clicking on this, and then +1, and it'll increase by 1. That's it. Current endurance, this isn't a formula. These are based on your real base stats for every 20. For every 20 rounded? I'm not sure if it's rounded or not. It's rounded up or just rounded. And you can just put down skills. Skills are probably just going to remain a advantage. Just roll once and then twice. Here's charges. If you put down the charge of something here, it'll be in white text. It should be. And this is the number that you have. In some cases, like orange berries, it doesn't stack. For most items, it doesn't stack. The only things that do stack are thrown items. And then there are staffs, and there are also scrolls, which hold magic charges. And I think those go up to like 99, whereas these stack up to like 1. So yeah, you just put them there, and then that's how you keep track of them. There might be something I'm forgetting or another, but that should be everything. I hope that explains everything.